Hey, what's up guys? Explanation Pro is here. Today I'll explain a sci-fi action movie titled Godzilla vs. Kong. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. Godzilla vs. Kong is a monster movie that details the clash between two gigantic and iconic monsters. The movie begins in an unknown part of Skull Island. Kong has just woke up from his slumber and does his usual routine. After taking a bath, Kong approaches Gia, a child who is holding a makeshift Kong doll. After approaching her, Kong notices something and immediately takes a tree and strips it down to its bare trunks. Afterwards, Kong throws it far into the sky, where it hits the limit. It turns out that Kong is inside a massive biodome of sorts, situated within the actual Skull Island. Eileen Andrews notes that the dome cannot sustain Kong for much longer. When her colleague comments that Kong must be released outside the island, Eileen responds that they cannot do that because Godzilla will trace and hunt Kong. Meanwhile, after 5 years of being an employee of Apex Cybernetics, Bernie is finally attempting to extract some evidence to show his podcast listeners. He claims that something terrible is happening, but he does not know what it is yet. Inside the Apex Cybernetics facility in Pensacola, Florida, Bernie takes his flash drive from his lockers and quickly maneuvers to an employee's office. The employee knows Bernie, and that is why Bernie is able to distract him. After the employee leaves the room, Bernie immediately extracts information from the computer. He notices that something important is getting transferred to Hong Kong. However, his inquiry is cut short when an alarm goes off, signaling that he has to leave as well. Outside the facility, Godzilla emerges from the waters of Florida and immediately attacks the facility using his laser beam. Bernie wants to know more about what is happening, so he goes deeper to the facility instead of evacuating. Eventually, the two guards were about to arrest him for trespassing, but Godzilla's laser beam prevented that. Bernie sees some strange round machine inside the facility. Afterwards, news quickly spread about Godzilla's attack on the facility. Godzilla is supposed to be humanity's defender against other Titan monsters, and yet his attacks on the facility might be proof that Godzilla's priorities have changed. Madison Russell, a young teenager, does not believe that Godzilla would attack unprovoked. She believes that there must be something at the Apex Cybernetics facility that made Godzilla act that way. Madison immediately heads to the Monarch Relief Camp in Pensacola, Florida to meet with her dad. Her dad, Mark Russell, is the director of Monarch. As such, Madison approaches him to tell about Godzilla's strange pattern of attack. Mark advises her to stop listening to Bernie's podcast and that Godzilla, like humans, might have changed. Madison goes home, clearly not accepting what her dad had said. Afterwards, at Denham University in Philadelphia, Dr. Nathan Lind is sitting alone in his laboratory when he gets approached by two men. The head of Apex Cybernetics, Walter Simmons, and his accomplice, Ren Serizawa. Walter wants to recruit Nathan for his extensive research and knowledge about Hollow Earth, a purported world within Earth. Nathan initially refuses Walter's offer, stating that they cannot provide substantial proof of Hollow Earth. Walter apologizes to Nathan for what happened to his brother. Nathan's brother actually conducted an expedition to Hollow Earth, but sadly got killed due to gravitational inversion. Walter then tells him that Apex had created a vehicle that can overcome the problem that killed his brother, HEAV, or Hollow Earth Aerial Vehicle. Walter tells Nathan that he needs him to lead the mission, believing that this can solve the Godzilla problem. Nathan comes to life about the potential of the expedition, telling them about genetic memory which exists in all Titan monsters. Nathan believes that a Titan can show them the way to Hollow Earth, and what Nathan had in mind is Kong. Back on Skull Island, Kong still keeps attacking the limits of the dome. Nathan visits Eileen to tell her about his plan to have Kong lead them to Hollow Earth. Eileen declines his offer, but Nathan insists by telling her that Kong's ancestors might have come from Hollow Earth. Thus, Nathan believes that Kong will find his new home there while also saving Earth in the process. Eileen finally accepts on the condition that any plan relating to Kong will be under her call. After Nathan happily leaves, Gia tells Eileen through sign language that Skull Island is Kong's home, as well as theirs. Eileen tells her that home is them being together. Afterward, a sedated Kong gets transported on a ship. Warships are escorting them to prevent Godzilla's attack. While aboard the ship, Eileen asks Nathan about what would happen if Kong refuses to participate, but Nathan leaves without answering. At the ship's desk, Nathan meets Maya Simmons, Walter's daughter. Maya is Apex Cybernetics representative on the expedition that they will conduct, telling Nathan about the HEAV's capabilities, one of which includes the engine's power, having enough charges to light Las Vegas for a week. That night, Nathan briefs them of the entrance they will use to access Hollow Earth. The commander with them informs Eileen that they have successfully avoided all of Godzilla's known territories. Eileen is relieved but adds that Godzilla might appear because Titans can sense threats, and Kong and Godzilla seem to be engaged in an ancient rivalry. Meanwhile, Gia, sleeping from her quarters, suddenly wakes up and approaches Kong under the pouring rain. Seeing this, Eileen immediately runs to the deck to get Gia. While looking at Kong, Gia takes out her hand and points her finger at Kong. Kong does the same. Surprised by this interaction, Eileen finally approaches Gia, who asks her why she is there. Gia tells her that Kong is sad and does not believe Eileen and others are helping him. Kong then shockingly tells Eileen home through sign language, which means that Kong understands humans all along. Madison leaves home in the United States through a van brought over by her friend Josh. Josh tells Madison that it is not a good idea to look for some random guy off the internet, who in this case is Bernie, but Madison ignores his advice. Realizing that he cannot talk Madison out of it, Josh decides to go with her. Madison thinks that Bernie buys a lot of bleach. Because of this, Madison and Josh ask a store clerk about a guy that buys a lot of bleach. After being bribed, the clerk tells them of Bernie's whereabouts. Upon arriving at the door of Barney's apartment, Barney refuses to meet them, but eventually accepts after hearing Madison's name. Bernie interviews Madison and Josh in some neon-lighted coffee shop. Madison tells Bernie about her belief that Godzilla's attack was not random, and Bernie agrees with her. Bernie then tells them that in his recent infiltration, he has seen some strange round device. Josh notices that Bernie has something on his jacket, and Bernie reveals it to be a flask. Bernie tells them that the flask, which contains alcohol, is a gift from his deceased wife, Sarah. Bernie adds that he will finally consume all of its contents if he loses all will to live. With this, Madison tells Bernie that she wants to help him. The three become a team, and now they will break into Apex Cybernetics. Meanwhile, at the Tasman Sea, Eileen tells Gia that she has been trying to communicate with Kong for a long time. Gia responds by saying that Kong does not want others to know because he's afraid. After that, Nathan talks to Eileen. Nathan tells her that they can use Gia to lure Kong to Hollow Earth, but Eileen refuses. Outside the ship, Godzilla approaches, alerting the ship's crew. Kong becomes agitated by Godzilla's arrival as he desperately tries to escape his bonds to defend himself. The warships and the jet fighters try to stop Godzilla, but to no avail. Godzilla destroys a few warships before heading straight to where Kong is currently on board. Eileen wants Nathan to let Kong go, but Nathan does not want due to its danger. But after the ship gets overturned by Godzilla's attack, Nathan finally decides to break Kong's chains. Kong immediately jumps into action, attacking Godzilla while standing on a carrier. Godzilla destroys the carrier with a laser beam, sinking Kong to the ocean. Godzilla then pulls Kong to the depths of the water, but thankfully, Kong survived the fight after the soldiers deployed underwater rocket bombs. However, Godzilla is not done, circling back for another attack. An idea enters Nathan's mind, one which involves all of them playing dead. The ruse works as Godzilla finally retreats from the fight. However, due to the damage caused by the battle and the attached danger of sea travel, they decide to travel the rest of the way via air transportation. Meanwhile, Bernie, Madison, and Josh go to the still damaged Apex facility. Their goal is to see the strange device and go to sub-level 33. However, the device is already gone by the time they come there. They go instead to sub-level 33, where they find vessel-like containers. To hide from the guards, the three entered one of the containers but got locked in. Inside, they see eggs containing creatures called skull crawlers. Unbeknownst to the facility, the three are transferred rapidly to Hong Kong in a tunnel. Kong's transfer via air is a success as the team finally reaches Antarctica. Kong wakes up and finds himself in an icy wasteland. Gia tells Kong that home is inside the entrance, but Kong does not seem to believe it. After getting urged by Nathan, Eileen tells Gia to tell Kong that the other members of his kind are within the entrance. Kong quickly runs towards the entrance while the team immediately follows Kong by using the HEAVs. While following Kong, Nathan tells them about the upcoming gravitational inverse. Kong falls on a hole and into a mystical glowing portal. There, the team encounters flashes of different colored lights before finally crossing to the other side. On the other side, they finally see Hollow Earth, but not before experiencing the gravitational inverse. After adjusting to the reversal of gravity, Kong immediately heads towards a particular direction, and while following Kong, the team bears witness to the untouched beauty and strange creatures of the topsy-turvy Hollow Earth. Immediately, however, their sightseeing gets stopped by an attack from two flying creatures that resembles a snake. With the team's help, Kong manages to defeat the two monsters and continues his quest to reach an undetermined place. One soldier notes that Kong seems to know where he is heading. Kong reaches the summit of a mountain. Above the mountain is another upside-down mountain that has a giant protruding hand. Noticing that the rocks between the two peaks are floating, Kong relies on the gravitational inverse to reach the upside-down mountain above him. Meanwhile, Bernie, Madison, and Josh finally reach Epic's facility in Hong Kong. As the door opens, they encounter a huge dark facility with monster remains scattered on its floor. The facility is a gigantic arena, and Walter is overlooking an experiment here. Controlled by Ren via uplink, their experiment is to test Mechagodzilla's capabilities against monsters. Madison quickly realizes why Godzilla attacked the Apex facility in Florida. They want to replace Godzilla. At a faraway sea, Godzilla detects the Mechagodzilla experiment and immediately heads towards Hong Kong. After running for a while, Kong finally reaches the mountain with a door at its base. Noticing a giant hand on its door, Kong pushes the door to reveal a castle-like interior. Kong shouts and walks towards the middle. After taking off an ancient axe, Kong proudly pounds his chest and continues to sit on the throne in the middle, looking like a triumphant king. While escaping the facility, Madison, Josh, and Bernie stumble to a titan skull belonging to Godzilla's former enemy, Ghidorah. Bernie immediately concludes that they are going to use the skull to establish connection between a pilot and Mechagodzilla. At the waters of Hong Kong, Godzilla approaches at a rapid pace. While that is happening, Kong activates some pattern that emits radiation. Godzilla responds to the activation by laser beaming the ground below him to reach Hollow Earth. Maya and the other soldiers quickly take the sample of this glowing pattern. Apex Cybernetics simultaneously downloads the taken piece. When the soldiers point their guns at Eileen, Gia, and Nathan, Kong gets angered and shouts at the soldiers, awakening the bat-like creatures that hang on the ceilings of the ancient structure. Above, Walter becomes ecstatic when the download of the sample is finally complete, ordering Ren to integrate the upgrade to Mechagodzilla quickly. Ren refuses initially because the upgrade has not been tested yet, but Walter insists on using it. Underneath, Maya and company immediately attempt to escape amid the chaos. Godzilla's laser beam finally reaches where they are standing, creating a hole underneath them. The two titans shout at each other from the hole. Maya's HEAV attempts to outmaneuver Kong, but Kong catches the HEAV and promptly crushes Maya and company. Kong takes the ancient axe with him and jumps through the hole that will lead him to Godzilla. Nathan, Eileen, and Gia follow him via a HEAV. Meanwhile, the three gets caught by the guards of the facility. Kong and Godzilla face each other again. They have an epic fight in the urban spaces of Hong Kong, with Kong emerging victorious by using the ancient axe that he found earlier. The three infiltrators are brought over to Walter, who quickly recognizes Madison. Madison castigates Walter for creating Mechagodzilla, but Walter responds by saying he gave humanity a chance against monsters. Kong and Godzilla's fight continues outside, but this time Godzilla emerges as the winner when Godzilla successfully immobilizes Kong. Back to the Apex facility, the upgrade is integrated into the Mechagodzilla. However, it went wrong immediately when the upgrade made the Mechagodzilla move on its own. Now becoming self-aware, the Mechagodzilla attacks the facility, killing Walter. Godzilla approaches the Mechagodzilla and the fight ensues between the two. Bernie and Josh attempt to shut down the Mechagodzilla's operation, but they continuously fail to do so. Godzilla gets overpowered by the mechanical monster, bringing Godzilla within an inch of his life. Meanwhile, Gia approaches Kong, who then feels that Kong's heartbeat is slowing down. Nathan has the bright idea to use the HEAV as a makeshift defibrillator. It is a success as Kong immediately wakes up from his slumber. Kong comes to Godzilla's rescue after Gia tells him that Godzilla is not an enemy. Together, Kong and Godzilla fight the mechanical titan. After the system has locked due to multiple attempts, Bernie concludes that the end has arrived and quickly takes out his flask to drink. Josh immediately thinks of pouring the liquid on the machine, taking Bernie's flask and pouring the alcohol on the computer, causing it to short-circuit. Mechagodzilla becomes weakened by this, and Kong, with the help of Godzilla, delivers the final blows, ending Mechagodzilla's short life. On the ruined streets of Hong Kong, Madison reunites with her father, while Eileen, Gia, and Nathan take a rest. However, Godzilla shouts at Kong, and the exhausted Kong rises to his feet to face him. But instead of a fight, Kong lets go of his axe, prompting Godzilla to finally leave and return to the waters as if they had an agreement. Afterward, Kong is now living inside Hollow Earth, while Nathan establishes a monitoring station for Kong. Kong communicates the word home to Gia, which makes Gia smile. The movie ends with Kong atop a cliff, making his signature move of shouting and pounding his chest. Thank you so much guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe my channel for more videos like this. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.